Shit. Alright, so this is the first time we doing one of these. I gotta just do this to articulate it for public records for the AI, just in case anything were to happen, you know what I mean, as a rare breed. I guess I gotta become comfortable with documenting the internal workings of my mentality, because the type of nigga I am is so few and far in between that somebody that might be going through similar trials and tribulations might feel less empowered to be stand on what, you know, they feel. So you know, just putting it out there, you know what I mean? It's like the type of dude that I am, I'm not the person that just immediately immediately go to the root, the animal brain, the destroy, you know what I mean, conflict resolution. It's been like that since I was a kid. And, you know, as a kid that got his ass whooped frequently, got in trouble frequently, there was a certain level of apathy that was developed early on, you know, even though it was rage, you know, getting in trouble for it. I learned a valuable lesson about letting your anger out and beating the shit out of somebody or fucking them up or whatever, immediately go into that mode. And, you know, my uncle, when I was 4 years old, he got shot in the back of the head in Oakland, of all places, you know. Nigga didn't want to pay him what he was owed. And when he turned his back on him, he blew his head off, you know, shit like that. So early on, I was very familiar with consequences of bitch assness, you know, dealing with people that's not on a square, and just like, you know, motherfuckers that are quick to do some hoe shit instead of actually like being honorable. So, you know, that played out in life, you know, some things that I let slide because I wasn't necessarily in the mode of like, I don't want to have to worry about no murder beefs, you know what I mean? Early on, it was that deep to me. It wasn't just let's get in a fight. It was like, nah, nigga, you gotta die or I gotta die. And that's how it played out, you know. Motherfuckers got murdered. But let me skip past that. Today in society, the way I feel about this shit and what I've experienced as an artist that's been like in the industry and you know, around people with high stakes to where they feel like they're willing to go to extremes to like defend something that they feel insecure about or whatever, you know. It's a lot of buster ass motherfuckers that just like click up. Let me say this also, I have never been a person to join a gang or be in a group of people because it made me feel safer. And, you know, I had enemies from childhood to now, and it's like I still was never the person to be like, let me hang out with these people because it makes me feel like I'm more confident being a tough guy, because I've seen what happens to people who are tough, you know what I mean? It's like a coward could kill you and it's nothing. So it's never been nothing. And motherfuckers gonna pull up. Anyways, this goes to my point right here. So when you an individual in the world and you stand on something and you get yourself into public circles and you have a voice that's powerful, and as an artist, you know, you communicate intellectually and your ideas cast wide nets and can change things, you know, you tend to run up upon a lot of like negativity and obstacles and people, you know, as you can see, you know, certain things happen to me that's like I can't relate to too many people because I've been standing on what I've been standing on from such a young age as a nigga who's gonna tell the truth, as a goose, you know what I mean, a top flight engineer of society. It's a lot of bullshit that people try to throw at you and little, you know, oh, you think you better than us, and nah, nigga, we ain't gonna let you play, you know what I mean, because your handle is too nice and the girls is gonna like you over us, and, you know, jumping you and just all this bullshit. You know, I dealt with all of it. So I've been a lone ranger. Even when I was in circles and groups of people, it was like I was always reluctant to fully engage because I just seen the pettiness and the way that people related to each other. So once again, let me say, I'm not a person who hung around people to feel more powerful. I was always an individual that moved with the conviction of the Most High. And because of that, you know, I was outnumbered in a lot of situations, and people feel more comfortable in their groups on that bullshit where it's like, this is our rules, we're moving the goalposts, and this is how we're going to control the scenario. It's like, oh, you're good. It's not about being good, it's about being bad. So now we're going to make it being the worst motherfuckers into the shit that we glorify, and now we're playing this reindeer game and you're excluded. And I've experienced that so much to where it's like, I just have this, like, it furthered the apathy to where it's like, all right, nigga, in my heart is rage, but I got to channel it, because clearly I can't whoop 5-10 motherfuckers in the room just because they on some bullshit. It's like, I got to let that shit go, find a way to channel it or whatever. Cause it's like, I'm gonna have problems always, because cowards, you know, they all flock together and they are good at the whole the snicker thing when you show up to make it. I've talked about this before, you know, the pizza party and certain things where it's like a gaslight scenario. But I just became very well versed in personalities and community sociological manipulations and like things that come from the top down, because realistically, as a melanated being, the people that look like me were brainwashed early on to take on the personalities and idiosyncrasies of the oppressor, and they flipped the script and took over our birthright. So it's like they're now the ones acting dignified, and we are now the ones being buffoons and ignoramus and like killing each other and all this, you know, shit. So imagine having that awareness and being in a community where in order to win the favor of your peers, you have to behave as a lower vibrational being. How that could fuck with your head. And then, you know, then they'll be like, oh, you think you're better than us, and it just creates friction. So that began, you know, that's in the journey. But also just as an artist, you know what I mean, I've come across motherfuckers who don't like me because I'm a better rapper or a better communicator, or I have a je ne sais quoi that they don't, or that they don't realize that they could have if they just invested in themselves. And this was me transmuting my suffering, you know, a kid who got his ass whooped, got punished, got singled out, got embarrassed.